I really love the QSR industry. Talented folks with backgrounds with grit, tenacity, passion, and competitiveness, and all qualities, that embody the mantra, who's gonna stop us? All right, so getting right into it. Voltaire once said we should be judged by a man by his questions rather than his answers. In business, just like science, the questions we ask often matter more than the answers we obtain. The right questions spark innovation, unlock hidden opportunities, and pave the way for something bigger than we ever imagined. A couple weeks ago, I was watching the Foods That Built America on the History Channel, and I was intrigued to learn about the trailblazers that once entered the food court, such as Panda Express, Cinnabon, and Auntie Anne's, when the big giants shied away. Instead of making another pretzel, Ann Byler asked, how can I turn a simple recipe into something that brings people comfort and community? That question turned a humble pretzel into a global brand. Panda Express. Andrew Chung didn't just ask, how can we sell Chinese food in America? Instead, he asked, how can we create a unique, fast casual experience that blends American taste with authentic flavors? That led to the signature orange chicken that made Panda Express a household name. When Cinnabon launched, they didn't just ask, how do we make cinnamon rolls? What's the perfect smell, taste, and texture that will make people crave this experience is the question they asked. That led them to develop the signature macaron cinnamon that made their rolls irresistible. These brands didn't succeed because they had all the right questions from the start and answers. They succeeded because they were asking the right questions, the ones that challenged the status quo, sparked curiosity, and also pushed towards something greater. And in our industry today, that same principle applies. We need to be driven by the right questions, questions that challenge us, inspire us, and ultimately bring out the best together. I encourage you all to check out that fascinating episode, not only to go deeper into these brand stories, but also take some trips down memory lane. Rockin' neon, acid wash, and wild hairstyles many of us used to have. All I can say is I'm glad I came a long way. The QSR industry is an inflection point, balancing both tradition and transformation, driven by market shifts, consumer behavior trends, AI adoption, and Gen Z expectations, raising the key challenge, how do brands evolve without losing their core? How many of you find AI taking orders the great Oz or the wave of new age productivity? AI and personalization are reshaping the way brands think about consumer engagement. It's no longer about guiding consumers towards a specific destination. It's about curating an experience that feels tailored, intuitive, and seamless across every touch point. Brands that win in this space aren't just selling products. They're orchestrating moments, anticipating needs, and making every interaction feel personal. Why is this shift happening? Because today's consumer is evolving faster than ever. Loyalty is waning, inflation is squeezing wallets, consumer sentiment is low, and shoppers are more selective, more price sensitive, and less predictable than before. This means that the traditional playbook of brand building that got us here today is no longer enough. The ability to dynamically adjust pricing, personalize offers, and drive demand through curated experiences is now a competitive necessity, not just a nice to have. But here's the upside. History tells us that in times of adversity, technology accelerates opportunity. AI and automation are not just solving problems, they're unlocking new levels of connectivity, scalability, and efficiency. The brands that thrive will be the ones that leverage AI not just as a tool, but as a strategic enabler, creating hyper-relevant experiences that build lasting relationships, not just transactions. So as we think about legacy brands like McDonald's, they have integrated AI technologies that are optimizing ordering experiences across several global markets and almost every US market restaurant today. By incorporating personalization into their operating systems, they're able to enhance the customer experience by providing tailored menu suggestions and improving operational efficiency. On the other hand, Edley's Barbecue is a trailblazer growing their customer database with data-driven personalization. They're leveraging guest Wi-Fi and a centralized customer data management platform to grow their new customer base and keep existing customers coming back. By utilizing data-driven personalization strategies, They successfully enhance customer engagement and loyalty. As my previous colleagues just mentioned, today, content isn't just king. It's the currency of consumer engagement, but not just any content, value-driven content, content that resonates, builds trust, and ultimately strengthens the relationship between brands and their audiences. Why is this more important than ever? First, the social media surge. Consumers are being bombarded by content 24/7. Standing out isn't just about being louder, it's about being relevant. And value-driven content ensures brands break through the noise and create meaningful interactions. Loyalty challenges. Traditional brand loyalty is fading. Consumers have more choices, more access to information, and higher expectations. The brands that deliver value, not just in products, but in the content that they share, are the ones that will earn trust and retain trust. Third, authentic engagement. Today's consumers can spot inauthenticity a mile away. They just don't want to be sold to. They want to connect with brands that share their values, speak their language, and engage in real conversations. And lastly, strategic evolution. Value-driven content isn't static, it's dynamic. It's evolving along customer needs, cultural shifts, and emerging technology. Brands that embrace this revolution, leveraging AI, personalization, and platform-specific storytelling will stay ahead of the curve. At the end of the day, the brands that win are prioritizing connection over conversion, storytelling over selling, and value over volume. That's the key to driving engagement in today's digital world. Let's zoom in and look at a trailblazer versus a legacy brand. Influencer Emma Chamberlain's coffee brand aimed to significantly drive growth by expanding her product lines and focusing on specific retailers. The brand had capitalized on her strong presence to catch the attention of Gen Z consumers with innovative coffee products. Carl's Jr. returned to provocative advertising by featuring Alex Earl Influencer, a campaign promoting its hangover burger, appealing to Gen Z consumers by leveraging nostalgia and humor, particularly through TikTok. But not all audiences are created equal, and neither are the platforms that they engage on. If we're serious about reaching Gen Z and millennials, we have to stop treating them like a monolith and start embracing the reality that their attention is shifting beyond traditional social channels. This is where normalizing testing begins. Think about gaming, an ecosystem where millions of hours of content are consumed, yet it remains relatively untapped by advertisers compared to social media. While brands are locked in an arms race with Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, gaming platforms offer an untapped opportunity, one where the engagement is deeper, more immersive, and less fragmented. And here's what's exciting. The share of engagement with these platforms is greater than social media. Unlike passive scrolling, gaming is active participation. It's community-driven, it's culturally rich, and more importantly, it's where younger audiences are truly present. For a QSR brand, this isn't about just placing an ad. It's about showing up authentically in spaces where Gen Z and millennials naturally interact, whether that's through in-game integrations, virtual experiences, or streaming partnerships. The brands that embrace these emerging opportunities, rather than waiting for them to become crowded, will be the ones that build brand equity with these audiences. So the question isn't, where are we going to advertise, but where is our audience truly engaged, and how can we show up in a way that feels natural and valuable to them? The customer experience is no longer just about the product. It's about how well we know and anticipate what the consumer wants. And the key to that? Data. But not just any data. First-party data is becoming the new differentiator. Brands have relied on third-party data to guide their strategies for years. But as privacy legislation continues to evolve and cookie-based targeting is being deprecated, brands with and using first-party data have an advantage. This is not just transactional data. It's behavior, preference, and intent. This is what will enable brands to move past that one-size-fits-all messaging and into true personalization, reaching consumers with the right message, offer, and even the menu item at the right time. A customer ID, though, is not enough. QSRs need to adjust market by market, location by location to be relevant. AI is accelerating this evolution. It's no longer just an automation tool. It's a source of real-time insight. In the QSR industry, AI is already being used to monitor menu trends, predict demand, and price strategically by location, time of day, as well as customer segments. Imagine a world where your menu automatically adjusts to showcase when consumers actually crave that item at that specific moment, not what's always on sale 24/7. That's the potential of data-driven personalization. Eventually, the brands that succeed will be the ones that translate first-party data into competitive advantage, unlocking smarter personalization, more efficient menu innovation, and frictionless customer experiences. Smart media and marketing is not all about AI, though. The hard work comes from leveraging first-hand specialized expertise in QSR, balancing corporate and franchisee needs, staying agile in market volatility, and keeping your eyes and ears open to what and the whys of your business, your competitors, your consumers, and the industry as a whole. You can flex curiosity by analyzing the qualitative and the quantitative, the macro and the micro trends. This is where I love to flex my strategic muscles. And here's an example of how we brought this to life for one of our trailblazing clients looking to enter into 2 test markets that balance both the practical sales data and the messaging placement data. So we took all of their first-party data from a sales perspective, calibrated that into devising tiers based on locations that were punching above their weight versus the low contributors to tailor media investment accordingly. But that's not enough. If we're not listening to what's happening in the marketplaces where our consumers are dwelling, where our competitors will be next, we're going to lose the boat. So incorporating social listening tools into this equation, as well as video views across every and any channel, including digital out-of-home, is equally important to balance out the quant and the qual. At the execution stage, this is where we expanded the framework to lean into day parting and day of week. That's the type of edge that we have, and that's the type of edge that you need to make gains. And the payoff is clear, given the considerable swings and the justification to scale and expand more in a measured way. With partners that we're starting to engage with, like MasterCard, that's helping us understand the propensity to spend in a marketplace coming proactively, or partners like InMarket that are helping us get a readout on sales in real time to understand directionally where we should invest next. We also have our proprietary Purview tool, which allows us to create custom trading zones for every single individual location, balancing both the corporate needs as well as the franchise needs down to the consumer customer level. How many of you have seen True Detective Night Country? Raise your hands. All right. So there's one episode for those who haven't that I want to zoom into. And Jodie's Foster character is mentoring her protege. And when they arrive on the crime scene, she starts probing him. What's the question? What's the question? It's never good enough for Jodie's character. Wrong question, she continues to respond. Her persistence is the mantra for productive, expansive, and mutually beneficial feedback conversations. I want to leave you with one thing that media post-conferences have to offer. To change reality, you need to change your perspective. During our time together this week, check the narratives in your head, challenge each other, and let's build back towards better greatness. And if you're ambitious in your desire to optimize growth, brave enough to embrace high risk, high reward, collaborative in solving tough challenges with an eagerness to learn and grow, whether as a partner or potential client, let's go ride the wave of change together. And hopefully this plays.
Anyone here been in the army?
My favorite clip.
Yes. I certainly do have been about it. You can help me. Whatever comes out of these gates, we've got a better chance of survival if we work together. Do you understand? If we stay together, we survive.
So, let's get on the battlefields and build your custom playbook together. Thanks all.